Hi everybody, welcome back to Taylor's Table. Thank you so much for joining me. As most of you know, everything about the basics of cooking, most of my recipes, really my love for cooking all came from my dad. He's one of the best chefs I know, and today I'm bringing you one of his recipes for the first time on Taylor's Table, so let's get started. Today we are making ribs. It's one of my favorite meals from my dad. Growing up when we used to cook at home, I used to always ask him to cook me ribs for my birthday. So here's the thing, ribs can be really intimidating. They do take a lot of time, but this recipe is so easy and so delicious. So let me get everything that we need. First things first, you don't need a barbecue to cook ribs. I'm actually not using one today. I'm going to use my oven for everything. So the first thing you need to do is set your oven to 375, which I have already done and it's ready to go. And next we are going to assemble our dry rub. So here's my bowl. We're gonna start with some brown sugar. So we're gonna do half a cup of packed brown sugar, 1/4 cup of granulated garlic, and then we're gonna do 1/4 cup of California chili powder. You can kind of use any chili powder that you want. Okay, that's good enough. And then we're gonna do 1/4 cup of salt. Yum. 1/4 cup of black pepper, okay. Perfect, now we're out of all of our seasonings, gotta go back to the store. 1/4 cup of black pepper. We're going to mix that all together and then we're gonna get ready to put it on our ribs. Okay, so our dry rub is mixed all together. If you guys could smell this, it smells incredible. Okay, next we're going to get some olive oil and heavily coat our ribs in olive oil, and I mean heavily. Gonna have to get dirty when you make ribs, all right? It's not easy eating them, it's not easy making them. We're just gonna take our spoon and just sprinkle it all over the top. And then I'm gonna pat it in with my hands. That is a masterpiece. Flip it over. Okay, we are all ready to go. She's looking great. Let me go wash my hands. I'll be right back. Okay, I washed my hands. I somewhat cleaned up my workspace. Like I said, ribs are messy to cook. They're messy to eat. Next, we are going to put them on a baking tray. So what I've done is I've laid foil down and then I kind of rolled up the edges because we want to create like a little steam trap for our ribs. So all I'm going to do, grab my masterpiece. Okay, so all we need to do now is get some foil lightly over the top. So we don't want it to like pick up the seasonings, just lightly place it over the top. You're just gonna like squeeze these edges together. So what we're doing is we're putting the ribs in the oven for about an hour to an hour and a half. I know that's a big time frame. Just keep checking them. You want them to be soft enough where you could pull them off the bone, but you don't want them to be falling apart like you're ready to eat them yet because we still have to put our barbecue sauce on them. Okay, let's assemble our barbecue sauce. I am going to start though with 1 full cup of barbecue sauce. Next, we're going to use 1 cup of Yoshidas. And then we're gonna take half a cup of Worcestershire. How do you say it?
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire. We're gonna take half a cup of this sauce. Half a cup of wine or beer. I'm gonna use a beer. And then you just stir all together and basically the sauce is done. We're almost ready to go. Okay, and that's basically it for our barbecue sauce. I'm gonna cover this in foil and set it aside. We're gonna let the ribs finish cooking and then I'll show you the last couple steps and you'll be ready to go. It's been about an hour and a half, so I'm gonna check on my ribs and make sure they're all ready to go. I'm gonna let them cool down a little bit and then come back to my table and we'll get finished. Okay, so my ribs took a full hour and a half and then I let them cool down a little bit. So now what we're gonna do is you wanna cut them into how you wanna serve them. So now I'm gonna grab my barbecue sauce that we made earlier. And I am just gonna drench these ribs in the sauce and then they're going back in the oven for about 15-20 minutes until they're totally tender. I'm going to throw them back in my oven right now and then our ribs are ready to go. Okay, the ribs have been cooking for about 15 minutes. I think they're ready. Oh, yes. It's time to plate. Let's head back to my table. I am so excited. It smells so good. So that's it, you guys, for the ribs. It's so easy. It's like really simple prep work and then the oven does most of the job. There's your homemade barbecue baby back ribs. It is time for me to get a review of my food. So I'm inviting my husband Drew over here to let me know what he thinks.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Back for round 2.
I've actually never made these here for you.
True.
So this is a true
blind
feedback
taste test. All right.
Okay, go ahead. You want to use fork and knife? No,
we're just going for hands.
Okay.
Fork and knife, come on. We're hot. These are good. So flavorful. I think you might be giving your dad a run for his money, actually.
Woohoo! I love it. You guys, thank you so much for joining me again on Taylor's Table. I will see you next time.